Well, time now for another check of the forecast. And Brittany, I saw some short sleeves in that story. Can we get some more of that warm weather tomorrow?
Unfortunately, no. But we are going to see a lot of it over the next week and a half. So sorry, Nick, you'll have to stack on those hoodies, maybe just one or two tomorrow. Before we get to that, we do still have a few fires, of course, burning in the western North Carolina mountains. We talked about this for a few days now. Still an air quality alert in effect for the next 45 minutes here for Burke as well as McDowell counties. You can see over toward Yancey and Mitchell too. Again, this is because of that smoke, extra smoke particles in the atmosphere mixed in with our ground level ozone, which is always present. So make sure that, of course, if you are a sensitive group, the elderly, young children, someone already suffering from respiratory issues, you keep that in mind before you head out the door. Now, again, the official alert does cycle out at midnight, but that doesn't mean you might smell and kind of be impacted by some of those things even heading into the day tomorrow. Now, we do have some changes to talk about. So today we were in the mid 60s, lots of sunshine. It really was a nice day. However, tomorrow we have another weak cold air damming setup to talk about. So this is that classic wedge. We've talked about it so many times. I actually did a weather IQ on this topic just last week. If you want to see it, head over to our weather IQ YouTube page. But what happens here is we get cold air trapped on the east side of the mountains, oftentimes because of high pressure over the New England states, really allowing for that flow, that clockwise rotation around the high to really pump that in. And at the same time, we have warm southerly and southwesterly wind. So what happens is the cold air goes here, the warm air goes here, and it goes above the cold air. And if there's enough moisture, it condenses and then allows for some patchy areas of light rain. Here in Charlotte, we have drizzle and frozen drizzle, sometimes in the mountains, often associated with cat events. Whereas if you're talking about places like the Rockies, typically results in some dangerous ice storms. So thankfully, that's not what we'll deal with tomorrow. But we are going to be impacted by some of those areas of light rain, patchy drizzle. So do expect that as you're heading out the door early on Sunday, maybe early church plans. You have brunch plans closer to 9 and 10 o'clock. We will be tracking really dense cloud cover and those patchy areas of drizzle. Now, this is not a strong cat event, so I do expect us to mix in some sunshine in the afternoon, but still temperatures this week have been largely warmer than average. This is one of the only days that will have highs only in the low to mid 50s. We say only because it's been in the 60s and 70s, but it's actually exactly where it should be for this time of year. And for that reason, tomorrow's Groundhog Day. So Queen Charlotte, the groundhog, of course, that does the predictions here in Charlotte, will likely not see her shadow. And of course, that means if it's cloudy at the midpoint of winter, it only gets better for the second half of winter. So 6 weeks of spring, which I know Nick's excited about. However, of course, this does not mean that it's accurate, but just wanted to give you a quick update there on that. Here's your hourly forecast here. We have lots of clouds to kick off the day, temperatures in the 40s, reaching only the 50s. And then, of course, we slowly start to cool off heading into Monday morning. So again, it's not going to be a great day to get outside with those temperatures in the 50s. However, we're only going to experience some clouds in the morning, some drizzle, and then it's 60s and 70s beyond for the entirety of the upcoming week. So here's your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. There you go. Drizzle, 53 for a high temperature, exactly where we should be for the first few days of February. And with the 60s and 70s this week will come a few opportunities for rain, but the 60s, the 70s dominating the forecast, even a few days, not quite to record levels, but certainly getting close to them.